Hello and welcome everyone to this video on implementing deep inserts in SAP OData by ZaranTech. But before we begin, make sure to subscribe to our ZaranTech YouTube channel and hit the bell icon to never miss any update from us.
So hello everyone, in this video we are going to discuss the concept of managing OData metadata. Now what is the meaning of OData first? So OData is nothing but an open data protocol, and it is a standardized protocol for creating and consuming queryable and interoperable RESTful applications using which we can perform CRUD operations in our database, SAP databases. So it acts as a backend using which we can perform CRUD operations on our databases. Now, what is the meaning of managing OData metadata? So managing OData metadata involves handling the information that describes the data structure and its relationship with an OData service. That what we are doing here, we are basically handling the information that describes the data structure and its relationship with an OData service. So when you see your OData project, what you will see here, open any project, when you will go to the gateway client, you will see your navigation basically. Let me show to you. Just go to SAP gateway client here. Now open the entity set first. Now I'm giving my metadata. Click on execute button. Okay, so this one is not implemented. Not an issue. What about the other one? This one is also not implemented. A deep entity. Checking for this one now. Entity set. Yeah, this one is also not implemented. Where is my project? OData filter CRUD. We have got the entity types. Flight. All right. Maybe this one have the implementation. Let's go to entity set. Click on execute. Yeah. Push metadata. Metadata. So metadata, see what does here. See, basically, metadata involves handling the information that describes the data structure. That what is the meaning of data structure here? That is the entity sets and their association. So its relationship with an OData service. So what are the key concepts in OData metadata? We have got the metadata document. So an OData metadata document is an XML representation of the data model exposed by an OData service, and it includes entity types, entity sets, complex types, function imports, and much more. And accessing via metadata endpoints, example, we can use this kind of service rule. Then we have EDM, that is entity data model. So it is central to OData. EDM defines the structure of the data, including entities, relationship, and properties, and consists of entity types similar to database tables and complex types such as structure. And structure is nothing but an entity in our OData, entity type. Then we have service document. It is a high-level document consisting all available feeds, which are entity sets in the OData service. Now, what are the steps that we can use to manage OData metadata? So we need to define the EDM. And for defining the EDM, we use the tools or frameworks, that is entity frameworks. For example, in .NET, we use entity framework to define the EDM. So we specify entity types, complex types, and properties in the EDM. Then we generate the metadata and automatically generate by many OData libraries based on the defined EDM. So what we are seeing here, in our OData, we will see that the OData metadata will be automatically generated by many OData libraries based on the defined EDM. And what is this EDM? EDM is nothing but entity defined model, entity data model. Then we need to customize the metadata, and for customizing we use the annotations to add custom metadata, example validation rules, UI hints, anything. Then we extend the metadata with additional information specific to the application needs. Then we perform the versioning. Now, what is the meaning of versioning here? So in versioning, we manage changes to the data model by versioning the OData service, and we ensure backend compatibility by maintaining previous versions or providing transformation logic. So what we are doing here basically, here we ensure backward compatibility by maintaining previous versions or providing transformation logic. And then we consume our metadata. So client use the keyword dollar metadata document to understand the data structure, which I showed you earlier. And tools like OData client libraries can automatically generate client side based on the metadata data. So OData tools like OData client can automatically generate the client side base. So whenever we click on the generate button, we get various runtime artifacts in our OData service, and which we can see on our gateway client after implementation. Then we have the security. So we need to protect metadata endpoints as they can reveal sensitive information about the data model. So this is the main responsibility for the developer to protect metadata endpoints as they can reveal sensitive information about the data model. Then we have to implement authentication and authorization to control access to metadata. And what are the tools and frameworks which we can use? So these are Microsoft OData library, which you can use. It provides a set of libraries for building and consuming OData services. Then we have OData client code generator, which we can use to generate client-side proxy classes from the OData metadata. And these are some of the best practices that we should use for handling our metadata. Why consistent naming convention, that is follow consistent naming convention for entities and property to ensure clarity and maintainability. In OData, it is very crucial for to give proper naming convention, because the camel case or lowercase names can cause a problem to you. So it is always very essential for us to give proper naming conventions in our OData services. Then we need to provide a give brief documentation and document the data model and any custom annotation within the metadata. Then testing. So we regularly need to test the metadata endpoints to ensure the accurately reflect the data model and can be consumed by the clients. Then for the performance, optimize metadata generation to avoid performance bottlenecks, especially for large models. And at last, by managing OData metadata effectively, you can ensure that OData service is robust, scalable, and easily consumable by clients. So OData services are very essential for us for our development, and the metadata involves handling the information that describes the data structure and its relationship within an OData service. So this is our OData metadata, which it is very crucial for us to maintain it. So we must use the proper naming convention so that it do not cause any error while at the runtime. So this is all about our managing OData metadata. Thank you very much.